going on, everybody? Welcome back. Week 7 is in the books. We're on to week 8. I'm here with Mark. I'm here with Rocky. How was your guys' fantasy weekends? How'd it go?
Not good,
Not
man.
good?
Not good.
It was a tough week. It was a tough week for
the Pasquales.
wide receivers in general. Let's not make it personal. They don't even know who the Pasquales are, do they?
They know.
But wide receivers in general, I mean, it was a pretty bad week. I mean, it was super tough out there.
Single-digit wide receivers this week.
My single-digit saloon did not hit. In fact, quite the opposite.
The touchdowns are down. Like, they just are down.
Who's your single digit?
Joe Mixon.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Hey,
what
what
I
else?
had quite a case. If
you
you didn't
got
listen
made
to
fun
it.
of on.
That's all right. That's what we're here for. We're here for you guys.
We're not always right.
going to be right. But I had a solid case to back up my claims. Go back and watch Single Digit Saloon from last week. Come into that game. The defense he was going up against was ranked 8 in rushing yards against, touchdowns against, 1 passing touchdown by a running back all season. I had legitimate thoughts that it would be more of a passing game, and Mixon hasn't been lighting it up through the air this year. He's been primarily on the ground, and I just didn't think it would go the way it went. I don't think anybody thought that C.J. Stroud was going to throw for 86 yards. And that's, it's football, it's fantasy. You're not always going to be right.
The fact that Stroud went single digits, Watson went single digits. This was the first week that I lost over 50% of my games. This week was terrible. Jaden Reed put up a 3.
Yeah, he hurt me.
Oh my God,
Well, actually
so many duds. And then I go and I sit people like Rashad White. He explodes.
Yeah,
6 catches for 71 yards,
okay.
2 touchdowns, ran in for another like 80. Like it just made no sense this week.
Can I have say Baker faces a good defense? He bakered all over that
He had
field.
Pretty good week. I don't know. He
He
got
had
me
a pretty
34.
good fantasy week.
Well,
but
this is a fantasy show, sir.
But he had INTs.
Stop bringing your personal
He had
Cleveland by.
INTs.
He's light years better than any quarterback in Cleveland right now.
Jameis
Yes.
Winston. Did you
I
see
love
him?
Jameis.
Hey,
Baker's
Jameis
still
came
better.
on, led us in a drive. Looked great.
It
looked like a
should
functioning
be the starter.
He looked like.
I agree with you, but
the Browns are
Mayfield's
tanking.
still better.
The Browns are tanking, and if you didn't know that, you did when they put DTR in instead of Jameis because they said we might actually have a chance
I
to
think
freaking win.
No, there's something deeper in there, and I think that goes to the ownership knowing that the fans were calling for Winston to play,
And they didn't want
And
him
they said
back.
make him the emergency, so they can't call for him.
Let me tell you what, he got in there and he led a drive
Yeah.
like a mother effing champ.
Yeah.
He looked good.
He's a professional quarterback. All right, moving on.
I'm just going to say, Jerry Judy had 0 catches
Until he
with
got in.
1 target until Jameis came in
And then he
with
dropped-
like 45
the
seconds
damn
left, and then he was
game-winning-
targeted like 7 times.
And then he dropped the game-winning freaking touchdown. Sets us up for the.
All right,
How's
so
it a
that's-
game-winning touchdown if you lost by like 20?
Now we lost by it was 7.
Was it?
We were driving.
Mark didn't watch football this weekend.
He watched one game.
That's our Browns report.
No, I didn't. The Bears were off.
You want to let me transition
Sure,
to the next?
sure. Yeah, go
Hey,
ahead.
Chalkboard. Check them out. They're our partners. Go there for 24/7 free fantasy advice. We have just about 300 members in there. It's a robust, I love saying that word, robust community of people that follow the show. You can keep up to date on all your stuff there. We have our Discords. We have advice on trades. You find one of us on there playing around, chatting it up with the guys, ask us some questions. But all in all, it's just a great app. It gets you all the information you need. You can make some of your plays on there, like Prize Picks does and stuff like that. You guys are probably familiar with. Chalkboard does a great job with that. So with that being said, we're going to move on to our first section of the week, which is Wiretap. Okay, so Wiretap. Basically, we're going to give you our top waiver ad of the week, and we're going to give you one guy that you shouldn't pick up that maybe we think is a little overrated. You might be scrolling down that waiver list and you see, a 16-pointer on there, and you decide to click on it. We're going to maybe steer you away from one of those guys. All right, so we'll start with Mark. Since we missed you last week, Mark, who's your top waiver ad?
My top waiver ad. If you didn't do it last week, he was going to be the guy that I was going to tell you to add last week. It's nice to see him get another week under his belt. And even with more competition back ahead of him, he still produced, and that's Sean Tucker. Sean Tucker is going to be a viable piece of this offense going forward, especially now with Chris Godwin probably out for the remainder of his Tampa Bay Buccaneers career. And also, yeah, because I guess it's a contract year, and if it's a dislocated ankle, he's done. And then Mike Evans isn't expected to return until after the Week 11 bye week. So you're looking at 2 wide receivers, your top 2 wide receivers down. That, shoots, who is it? Is it McMillan, Jalen McMillan? I don't even know who their backups are.
Sterling Shepard.
Sterling Shepard. It's a bunch. It's a who's who of who's who.
There's volume there. I mean,
at wide receiver.
They throw the ball.
But I mean, why not then utilize your pass catching backs? And they do have 3 very viable, very flexible backs. Sean Tucker. He's averaging like 7 yards, 8 yards per touch at this point. I get 2 weeks ago, small sample size, but it was like a 14-yard per touch average or whatever he had. But this past week, he still had a 7 or 8 yards per touch average. And he got the ball a decent amount for who is projected to be the 3rd string running back. So I think going forward, I think Sean Tucker is going to see a lot more action, especially with those 2 injuries. He's proving himself. He is dynamic. He's explosive. He's who I predicted to take over the backfield last year, but I also didn't realize that he had apparently a really devastating injury coming into the combine, which is the reason why he fell down the draft board. But this guy was touted to be possibly the first pick off of the board in the running back area last draft. Go get you some Sean Tucker.
Sean Tucker. Rocky?
Yeah, I'm going to go a little bit of a homer pick here, but I think it's time to consider picking up Cedric Tillman. 8 receptions, 81 yards. Honestly, should have had a touchdown, but kind of mishandled a catch. What I like about it the most is he had 12 targets. So I think Jameis takes over this week, and I think Jameis actually does pretty well with both Jerry Jeudy and Cedric Tillman. Cooper's gone. I think Tillman's a worthwhile pickup.
I feel like you really came for my neck right there, bud.
Why?
Because I put my waiver ad of the week right in the chat. You seen who my waiver ad was, didn't you?
I did too.
You put yours first?
Yeah.
Well,
You put Cedric Wilson.
No, I didn't. I guess I
didn't know
came
who
for your
that
neck.
was.
Let's
I
go
didn't
back.
put Cedric Wilson.
No. You had somebody else for your waiver.
Yeah, that's my don't add, Cedric Wilson.
No, above it.
Yeah, that's who my waiver ad is, yes.
Yeah.
What are you saying?
He said Cedric Tillman.
Yeah, I know what he said.
That's
What
not
team
the
does
same guy.
What team does he play on?
Doesn't matter. It's not the same guy.
I didn't say it was the same guy.
But
Oh, I see.
Yeah. God damn, you're confusing.
How? Did I say you picked the same guy?
Yeah, there's room for both
yeah,
of them.
I mean,
Add
it
them
seemed
both.
like-
I mean, we're basically arguing against each other right now.
Add them both.
I don't know about that. I think you had Elijah Moore is who I was going to say. And obviously, with Amari Cooper leaving town and then the events of this past weekend, 7 targets, 6 catches on those 7 targets. I think the volume is there. So, yeah, you possibly could pick up both guys and see how it shakes out. But I think it's an upgrade at quarterback. I think Jameis is just going to throw the ball more. He's willing to push it downfield more than Watson is.
Yeah.
He
Jameis
plays
is
from the
Flacco.
pocket. Yeah,
He's Flacco. He's a younger Flacco.
He is a younger Flacco.
Yeah.
Who, Jameis?
Yeah.
Yeah, he will toss
He's
the
going to
rock.
throw
He's not
interceptions.
afraid.
He
Yeah.
is, no doubt.
Yeah, but he's going to throw touchdowns too.
Yeah. And the last time the Browns offense looked good with less than what they have right now.
Joe Flacco?
Yeah, it was Joe Flacco. So.
Yeah. Well, you need. I mean, they're kind of cut from a different cloth. I think of a quarterback from like 6-7 years ago, where they play from the pocket a little bit more. They understand those older concepts of getting the ball downfield and less of a quick game that you see all over the league now. So yeah, I like Jameis, and yeah, pick up both. I think Moore is more talented. And I think he's showing it, even though he's hasn't had a great career, but he has flash. I think he would be the guy I would go with.
I think Moore is a good selection. I do think he's talented. The only reason why I go Cedric is 5 more inches, and who doesn't like 5 more inches, Phil? Know what I'm saying? He's taller.
Do you like 5 more inches?
I guess if you need it.
Who's wider? Is Elijah wider? Might be girth. You might want to go for girth there.
We could find out.
Yeah. I think Elijah might be more girthful.
Not too much, right?
Girthy.
It's too much. Got to cut it all out. Say it once.
Girth.
All right. So this is not the guy I was looking up. Who is your worst ad or the ad you should stay away?
Me. All right. So you're thinking to yourself,
What are you thinking?
the Chargers, they don't have anybody to throw to, right? Quentin Johnson, flash in the pan. Lad McConkey, all right, he's average, right? They don't have any decent tight ends. Hold the phone. Will Dissly comes in this week, 11 targets, 8 receptions, 81 yards. Let me just tell you, it's an aberration. It's an away. Isn't it aberration?
Apparition, like a ghost.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said an aberration.
No, aberration. It's an oasis. It's not going to happen all the time, all right? Herbert likes to throw the ball. I get that. But I don't see Will Dissly keeping up an 11 target average all season long. So I don't think you have to go and rush to the waiver wire, especially now that you're going to see some of those top tier tight ends coming back into the mix. So TJ Hawkinson should be cleared here shortly. You see Njoku's finally working his way back from injury. Kittle looks to be healthy again. Laporta's getting the ball again. Travis Kelce, bit distracted, but he's still Travis Kelce and can just blow up any given week. So, I mean, I don't think that anybody is necessarily struggling so mightily at the tight end position that you need to run out and pick up a Will Dissly, because I don't think it's going to pay off. What you're going to do is you're going to end up fooling yourself into starting Will Dissly over Kyle Pitts or over Cole Kmet or over Hunter Henry, and it's going to bite you in the ass. It really is. Stick with the guys that are getting the ball consistently, and do not go on the waiver wire and pick out Will Dissly this week.
Fair, Rocky. Who you got?
I'm going to stay in the tight end room, and I'm going to tell you that there is no need to pick up Jonnu from the Miami Dolphins. Liked his game, man. 7 receptions, 96 yards, and a touchdown. However, when you break down the numbers, that was basically almost a season's worth of catches for the guy. He caught every single target that came his way, which he hasn't done all season. In fact, he's dropped 25% of his passes this year and hasn't had a score yet. Tua's coming back. We know who catches passes in Miami when Tua is throwing the ball, and that's Hill and Waddle and the running backs. So I think there'll be an uptick with them, and I think there'll be an uptick with Mostert. I would stay away from Jonnu.
Well, I'm spiraling. I can't find the guy. I don't even know who the hell Cedric Wilson is. Who was it that I was talking about?
I think you were thinking that the right choice to pick up was Tillman.
No, I don't think I was thinking that.
Up.
But I do have somebody else to throw in there. This is a guy we talked about a few weeks ago, and I'm gonna second it because he's still at 15% ownership in ESPN, and he's been. He's been good in the absence of Kupp and Nakua, but I do think that with Kupp coming back in, I'm hearing rumors that Kupp might be on the move, or that they're willing to move him.
Yeah,
so that's something to monitor. Well, I mean, he's been hurt.
But did you see where they're talking about him moving to?
I've seen like 6 teams. Do you have the list?
So then it looks like one team has cut a player.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and it was the Eagles cut Paris Campbell.
Well, I mean, they could just cut Paris Campbell because he's Paris Campbell.
They could, but
and they just picked up Jahan Dotson.
Yeah, well, all-star. I mean, Jahan Dotson is an animal.
He's another guy they should
probably cut him as well. Yeah. But yeah, Tutu Atwell, it's a nice story. I think when Kupp comes back, you're going to see him fall relatively to non-starter with a status, because I mean, with the absence of these guys, he's been serviceable, but he has not been lighting it up either. I think this is the production you would expect from a guy that you would roster if you had their top weapons in. But when they come, he's producing like this, they come back, I think you got to move away from him. So don't get Tutu Atwell. It's going to be a waste of your waiver ticket there, or any money you might have to bid for him. Anything else you guys want to add to the waiver section? Somebody you want to throw out there?
I think maybe we should add real quick that Brandon Ayuk with that season-ending injury and Ricky Purcell coming back and having as much camp hype as he did pre-gunshot wound. I think Ricky Purcell might be a speculative add as well.
I think in general in your leagues, you may be wanting to look into some receivers that are on bad teams that are movable for that team, because unlike years in the past, I think actually the last few years, the NFL is moving towards more of an active trade deadline. We've seen 2 receivers be dealt already. I think there's going to be more with the recent injuries. I think Tampa Bay has a legitimate reason to add a wide receiver.
Yeah.
I think the 49ers do as well, and there's probably a handful of other teams that are probably looking to upgrade their receiver core. Pittsburgh being one of them. I think they need another guy there, and they're 5-2 right now. So you know maybe. I'm not going to throw out names because I don't want to.
What's amazing to me is when you look at players that sit out of camp, especially at wide receivers, and how they start the season. You had Cooper that sat out, couldn't catch a cold.
Yeah.
You had Ayuk, who's now injured. It's shocking to me that
Devontae Adams.
It's pretty normal.
Nice
that this
correlation,
happens.
you're saying? Yeah, I get that. All right, so let's move on to fantasy prime time. All right, guys, fantasy prime time this week. We're going to focus on 3 games. I sent it to you guys in the chat. I didn't write it on the board, so I'll just throw them out there. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about these games because we think they're games. They're going to have buku fantasy points, games you can target in daily fantasy, but also games you want to pay attention to if you have a player on your team that is involved in this game. There's going to be names in here that you know for sure, and there might be some guys that maybe don't start every week for you, but maybe you want to fire them up. We're going to draft 2 guys from each team, and we're going to move through all 3 games. All right, you guys ready?
Let's do it.
All right, so first we have the Buffalo Bills at the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle Seahawks, pretty quietly, Geno Smith is, I think, the QB4 last week. Defense looks terrible. Offense is just throwing points up, so I think this is going to be pretty exciting and probably wind up not being because I'm saying that.
Always.
But we'll start with Mark. You'll make the first pick. We'll go to Rocky. I'll make the third, and then we'll flip it all around.
That Seattle defense is the opposite of the Legion of Boom this year.
Legion of Poon?
They could possibly be the Legion of Poon. I'm trying to workshop some other ones real quick. Can't think of it. Been a long day.
Let's stick with it.
I'm going to stick with. I don't think Amari Cooper is familiar enough with the offense to warrant the first overall pick. So I'm going James Cook. I think James Cook is going to see a lot of action out of the backfield.
Yeah.
He's going to run all over the place. He's going to catch some balls. He's going to run after the catch. He's probably going to get in the pay dirt a couple of times on the Seattle defense. I think I won. I don't even know if I have to have a second round pick.
Yeah, and just
James Cook.
I keep forgetting to mention we're not picking quarterbacks just because you just would have to take both of them. So
Yeah.
we'll stick to the skill position players. Rocky, who do you have?
So, it's surprising because I'm looking at these teams and it seems like there should be a lot of depth. But DK injured. We're not quite sure. Have they announced yet if he's playing this week or not?
Not sure yet. I could look it up.
Again, we're not picking quarterbacks. Otherwise, you're definitely taking Josh and Geno. So I am going to go with Amari. I think another week in the offense. He didn't look like Omari, but he still...
Well, that's a different person.
Amari. He still, I'm looking for his stats right here, still had 5 targets, 4 receptions, 66 yards, and a touchdown. I think they're going to continue to find ways to work him in. I agree. Cook is the clear 1-1
Easy now.
as Mark breaks
Easy
the
now.
set. God, break it. We work so hard on this set.
I didn't break it. He hit it with his goddamn
We
tree
worked so
trunk
hard
and
on
it
this,
fell. I tried to
this
catch
set,
it.
So.
All right, so I have it here. He is considered week to week with a grade 1 sprained MCL. Mark, our medical expert. What does a grade 1 MCL look like? Timetable wise.
It all depends on the grading system there. They grade them.
So here's what I know from my previous knee injuries. There's a chance that he plays this week because grade 1 is about the smallest tear you can have. You got to see exactly where it is on the MCL, but the MCL, as you know, gets a lot of blood flow to that. It does, though, more than any of the other ligaments in the knee. So typically, you can heal from an MCL if it's not too severe without surgery. There's a chance that he shoots it up. He can play through the pain and plays this week. So I guess you got to monitor that.
And it is only sprained for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Oh
not
yeah,
like
so it didn't
It's
tear.
not like it's
It didn't
torn.
tear, so it's just stretched a little bit.
Yeah.
Rocky doesn't know about that.
No, I'm saying that sprain hurts more than a break. Just saying. That's
Yeah,
the
it
old,
does hurt.
It's the old adage.
That doesn't do more damage though. All right, so that being said, I don't think I would roll the dice on Metcalf here. You did take Amari, which would probably been my next pick. This is tough, but I think I got to go Kenneth Walker here. He looked great last week after a down week against those vaunted Giants. But so he came back and he looked like himself, and I think it's a good game. He gets his points through the air, he gets them on the ground. So either way this game goes, I think he'll be pretty centrally involved. K9 is mine.
You're a bastard. I sat him in a couple leagues this week because of your report of him not feeling well, that he had a tummy ache.
I'm telling you,
And
my sources said that he was not feeling well.
I started Zach Charbonnet. And
How was he?
goddamn it. Kenneth?
No, Charbonnet.
No, not that good.
Not that good.
Hey,
Not
I
that
said-
good.
I mean, you should have been watching up until kickoff. I feel like
I sat K9 in one league and put in Javante, and that son of a gun ran.
Devontae.
Javante.
Oh,
And he
Javante.
ran. He got me 25 fantasy
Yeah, imagine
points.
if you would have had both of them then. Who was your other running back that you started?
Chase Brown and let me
Yeah,
down.
see? Let you down.
Never trust the Bengal.
Yeah, well, against the Browns, you can't. I told you guys that would be a close
No,
game.
they won the game. Yeah.
They won the game, but that 100-yard kickoff return to start. I do think K9 is the right choice. 6 touchdowns this year. He's just a threat to score, man. He's a great running back.
He's good. Oh, great.
He's great. He's great.
All right, go ahead.
I'm not going to deliberate too long on this.
Don't.
Metcalf, the Metcalf injury, the blood flow, all that kind of good stuff to that MCL.
Yep.
I don't give a shit. Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to be the guy who they go to early and often to keep pace with Buffalo because, as we know, James Cook is definitely getting in the end zone anywhere from 3 to 7 times this week.
Okay.
So they're going to have to keep pace with them. And Jackson Smith and Jigba, that's the guy to go with.
Sounds like you got it all locked up. I'm
got it
happy
locked.
for you. Congratulations.
Yeah,
Rocky, go ahead.
Listen, I agree with this guy.
Which one?
JSN has got the most targets after DK.
Yeah.
He hasn't done as much with it, but I think he's going to be an
It's an
expanded
important
role.
piece.
I think if DK's
idiot.
out, that we're going to see JSN.
You got to
move
get
out.
this guy out of here.
I know we do. It's annoying.
Yeah, so I want to see his stupid face. All right, go ahead.
I
sorry.
actually asked Jackson to come on.
Yeah.
Mostly to spite Zach this past week.
You're like a scorned lover.
I am, yeah, a little bit.
Little bit. Look
But
at you.
Jackson said he's afraid.
He's afraid.
Yeah, he's afraid of FaceTime.
He doesn't want people to see his face.
Yeah.
He, he doesn't like facials.
JSN, I think he's going to run some deeper routes, and I think it's going to be a fit. I think it's going to work.
All right, so let me ask you guys at this pick, who do you? I mean, I feel like we're just hoping at this point with the rest of these guys.
You are. I'm not.
But
I'm solid.
I'm talking about right now with the last pick in the draft. Okay,
Well, no, wait, I haven't made my pick.
I thought
He
you
didn't
just
make his
picked
pick.
somebody.
I was
No,
just propping
he was still talking my guy
Oh,
up.
so you're just
I was propping
doing
a guy
extra
up
talk.
here.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Your turn.
My guy would be Keon Coleman, and here's
That's
why.
a bad pick.
Well,
Terrible pick.
Keon Coleman found his groove
Did he?
without having the best corner on him. That guy moving over to Amari. He found his groove. He looked good. It was a breakout game, fantasy. He scored points.
Breakout of Jace.
And I think he's going to be somebody that we need to watch. I think he's going to improve.
So you took Omari and Stella. Good job.
Yep.
That's
I took the two
team.
brothers.
Team. Get your groove back.
He's ridiculous. All right, so that being said, there's a bunch of trash left. I'm gonna go with Ray Davis. Give me Ray Davis. Hopefully,
Ray.
he outscored James Cook this week. Hopefully, he can get into the end zone again. I think he looks now. All joking aside, he passes the eye test.
Yeah.
That's my. I'm sorry.
Oh, is that you? I was like, what the hell's going on? We about to get attacked?
Sorry.
It's got an emoji of somebody running on there.
I can't.
So
Hopefully,
I think it's telling him that he's in danger. What-
you're an idiot. I just pressed the wrong button. Anyway, what was I saying? Ray Davis looks the part. They want to get him more involved, it feels like, and he made the most of his opportunities. This is a shot in the dark. I'd just rather play him than one of these tight ends right now. I mean, there's a chance he gets a goal line carry and scores. Give me Ray Davis.
Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Conley. All right, on to game 2, which is not on the board, so I got to read it from here. Oh, it's the Chicago Bears.
The Bears.
Now, when I queued this up, I had in my mind that Jaden Daniels is going to be the quarterback for the Commanders. That is in question, but Marcus Mariota looked like Oregon Marcus Mariota this Sunday. That could be because they played the Panthers.
It's not going to matter.
But I will say this. There's a lot of guys in this game that, you could sprinkle a little something on. So, Rocky, you get the first pick here. Rocky, we got the Bears. We got the Commanders. New kids on the block, if you will. Who you got?
Yeah. This is an interesting game. I would feel better if Jaden was the quarterback.
He might be.
And he might be still. The Bears defense has picked it up the last couple games. Now, is that because they're playing lesser competition? Probably so. But, they aren't, they're not a joke.
They're not that great either.
Yeah.
Don't be a condescending bastard.
If the Bears had a good offensive line, we could be talking about winning, that division.
They're still going to win the division.
I think it's an easy choice. You know me.
We didn't pick them to win the division.
Yeah, we didn't. Neither one of us.
It's a good division.
I like when
You're
when
wrong.
a man's got a ball in his hand.
I bet you do.
DeAndre Swift. This is the right choice. He's really the last couple of weeks has looked almost untouchable.
Would you say he got his groove back?
Yeah, he got a groove back. Yeah.
Wow,
So,
DeAndre's
Swift.
got his groove back. All right, so hey, I like that. I'm reading right now that Jaden Daniels is very much in doubt for Sunday's game against the Bears, so I'm going to take that as.
I mean,
You
why
want to know
would you-
why? Because he knew that there was a matchup of the top two quarterbacks taken, and he cowers the competition.
He's shying away.
Or is it
He
just
shied away
that-
because he didn't want to get shown up by Caleb.
Or is it just that Washington knows this is a gimme game?
I can't wait
and
till
then
all
no matter
these.
who they got, they're winning.
I can't wait till all these lesser podcasts eat their words because a lot of people are taking Washington to beat Chicago this week, and it's absolutely ridiculous to even consider that.
Well, that's
why?
not-
Because Washington beat the Giants? Come on,
Wow.
get off of it.
That was week 2, man. Really digging back.
Why you gotta bring
you
up
can't hurt
ancient
me.
history?
You can't hurt me. I'm already hurt and I'm numb. Okay,
Is Tommy DeVito still on the team?
he's out there somewhere. Him and his uncle.
Listen, yeah, I think I'd like to see him come out and play.
Put somebody out there.
Don't put at this
Tommy,
point.
give
Don't
me-
put Drew Lock out there.
Drew Lock looks surprisingly worse than Daniel Jones. So put Tommy DeVito out there. Give us something to cheer
Listen,
about.
the Browns
Yeah.
would take Tommy DeVito.
At
bet
least
you
he
would.
Hey,
brought
we
you
just
back
signed
to,
Bailey
like,
Zappi.
It's family. Like
It's
it felt like
family.
family. It felt like
Hey,
family with
felt
DeVito.
like back
Hey,
home.
the Browns just signed Bailey Zappi. We take Tommy Cutlets. I bet he could find us a really good cutlet in Cleveland.
He knows a guy.
Yeah, he knows a guy.
All right. So anyway, who am I taking here? I don't know how you passed up on DJ Moore. Give me DJ Moore.
You know me.
Yeah.
Like the guy with the ball in his hand.
To be truthful, I ain't touching anybody on Washington. Give me Cole Kmet.
Well, I feel like you're biased, but okay. Cole Kmet for you. Who you got, Rocky?
Yeah, I like Cole Kmet.
Just that quick. It's back to you.
It is, and I'm not quite ready. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, you like a guy with a ball in his hand
This is easy. I'm gonna go Brian Robinson.
Brian
for
Robinson.
his first
Jr.
single-digit performance.
Yeah.
Kudos.
No, he had 2 touchdowns last week.
Yeah, I like Brian
he's-
Robinson.
He scored a lot.
Solid runner.
The great thing about it
He's
is
gonna get shut down.
they are definitely sharing some with Eckler, but
Yeah, they
around
are.
the goal line, they're giving it to the guy that took 5 bullets to the chest and got up the next week and
He
played.
took him to the
Pretty
leg.
sure it was one.
Leg, chest, whatever.
It was one to the side of the thigh.
Yeah. It was an ass shot.
You got the meatiest part of him they hit.
The meaty part of the thigh.
Yeah.
I think it's
Sopranos
important to
call
say that we got a Joe sighting. He is alive.
Okay, I seen him 2 days ago, but yeah. Dang. Where do you go here? All right, I mean, there's a bevy. I'm not going to be disrespectful and pick the wide receiver 2 for the Bears. I'm going to take Terry McLaurin with Super Mariota over there. He's going to target him a bunch. I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope that they can repeat the success they had last week. Obviously, they're not playing the Panthers this week, but I still think they're talented enough to get something done.
But you know what? I am going to take the wide receiver 2 for the Bears. I'm going to take Keenan Allen in a matchup with his old running mate out in L.A., Austin Eckler. They're going to have a little friendly competition of who's more fantasy relevant. And as we know, Austin Eckler, it's not you, guy. It's not you, and especially not against this vaulted Chicago defense that's going to shut down your much younger, stronger counterpart Brian Robinson and stick Rocky in the single-digit saloon over here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to our next matchup, which I think stroke of genius for me picking this game here, and I think even more so with Arizona's performance in Week 7. We have the Arizona Cardinals at the Miami Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa is all but cemented as coming back for this game. So we have that Miami offense getting fired up again. You got an Arizona offense that shocked this week and looked good like they did the first 2 weeks of the season. So it's my pick. I'm going number 1, and I'm taking Tyreek Hill.
Okay. I like that.
It's your turn.
Just okay.
Yeah, I mean, Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill, Tyreek Hill, Tyreek Hill, Tyreek Hill. Tua Tagovailoa back, Tyreek Hill.
Got it.
There you go.
Real quick, what do you guys make of Tua saying he's not wearing the new helmet?
I make nothing. What
Come
do
on.
you mean?
I think that was probably the concussion talking still.
I think they should make him.
He should be
mandatory.
forced.
I thought you were. This is America.
Hey, he
I
should
thought
be
you were for
wrapped,
freedom.
He should be wrapped in bubble wrap.
No.
That poor guy.
It's his head. It's his body. It's his choice.
Here's the thing. Here's why he doesn't need that helmet this week. Because Mike McDaniel is going to take it easy with him. They're going to go back to the Miami ground machine.
Okay.
Give me Devin A-Chain for the win here. I think Miami's going to pump the ball on the ground. They're going to do it very effectively against this Arizona defense. I think Tua is going to put the ball up in the right spot. So I think that Tyreek Hill is probably the right pick at number 1. But I think A-Chan has the probability of absolutely exploding in this game because they are going to lean on him.
All right. I don't hate that pick. I'm going to go again. I like running backs. James Conner, 504 yards. The
good
guy
pick.
has produced. He looks, honestly, he doesn't look any different than he looked the last 3 years. He's still got some speed. I think he's got like a 4.6 yard average. Looks good. I'm happy getting James Conner with the number 3 pick.
I like James Conner because if I'm Arizona, I want to keep the ball away from
right.
Miami.
Yep.
And I want to run the ball as much as possible. That being said, if I am picking the next guy,
You are.
then I would probably think about taking Jalen Waddle here. But I don't want to put too many eggs in that basket. So let me I guess Marvin Harrison Jr. probably be the guy I take. I flirted with Michael Wilson here. I'm gonna play the upside and hope that Marvin Harrison Jr. looks like the
Better than he has the last 3 weeks.
like the guy we thought he was gonna be, and he looked like early in the season.
And even not looking great, he's still got 4 touchdowns, and I think he dropped.
He dropped one, yeah.
The pass he dropped, he could have scored here. So thanks, MHJ.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I have him in a couple of leagues, and he has really let me down these past few weeks.
Down, for sure.
I am not a huge MHJ fan right now. With that being said, I could go Waddle, but again, my reasoning for not taking him is that I don't know the Tua if they're going to allow him to have so much time in the pocket to go through his progressions, right? Mm-hmm. So your wide receiver 2 lacks there. I could stick it out with the Miami ground machine and pair A-Chan with Mostert. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take them both. I think this is going to be a very ground heavy game, so I'm going to take both of these guys.
Yeah, I don't hate my teams for drafting 3rd here. I'm going to go Trey McBride. He actually is a target leader for Arizona with 46, 2 touchdowns. I think he's the number 2 tight end in the league. I think there's value there. So
Definitely is.
Trey McBride.
All right, well, that's Fantasy Prime Time. If you want some more picks and insight into the rest of the games for Week 8, please go to @GON Podcast on TikTok. We will be posting all week about who we think you should start or who we think you should sit for Week 8. And you can definitely message us directly there as well, and we will get back to you. Please go there, add us, comment on the videos. There's a bunch of stuff up there. But now moving on to Single Digit Saloon. All right, guys. Single Digit Saloon is basically where we're going to pick a stud that you want to start and say, hey, this guy's not going to have a good game. Are we going to be right all the time? No, probably not. Because we are going out on a limb a little bit here. I took Joe Mixon last week, and man, that blew up in my face.
That did not pan out well for you.
I don't remember who you picked. Do you remember? It'd be nice if you did, and I'm not just out here alone. But why don't you think about that? Let me know what you think. But this week we are gonna pick 3 guys instead of 2 because Mark's here. Mark,
I think I picked George Pickens, which was a mistake too.
George Pickens looked like an absolute
Yeah,
beast
he did
this
with
week
Russell
too.
Wilson.
Yeah, who would have guessed?
all right. So Mark, who do you got this
Unlimited.
week?
I'm not gonna get super crazy, right? You drafted this guy as a wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4 early in the year, but he has solidified himself as a weekly starter. I'm telling you, caution that this week. All right, play one of your other flex guys at the position. Brian Thomas Jr. going up against Green Bay, whether he draws Xavier McKinney or
Is that why are you shaking your head?
Oh, Brian Thomas. I'm sorry. I thought
Wow, Rocky.
I thought you said Brian Robinson. My bad.
no, Brian Thomas Jr. Going now.
Carry on.
Do that
Carry on.
again.
Carry on.
All right.
No, it's all right. He just got confused. You're right.
Is it definitely? Are they
I
playing?
don't. I'm just guessing.
I'm-
that
I'm-
Oh,
you're
no,
right.
no.
I'm-
You got it right. You got it right.
Yeah,
Did somebody
he's-
verify?
No, I think you did. He's just confused.
Yeah, I was confused.
All right. Well, since I'm doing it over anyway, I just want to make sure now.
Okay.
It is Green Bay.
God damn you, man! That was such a good start.
I mean, honestly, it
keep
was
it
a
in
shit take. Just do it again. It'd be better.
All right.
Bad take.
My guy, I'm not going to go too crazy here. You did early in the season, you drafted him to be your wide receiver 3, wide receiver 4, wide receiver 5. So that means you have depth at the flex position. I want to tell you, use that depth this week. This is a guy that has solidified himself in the starting lineup, Brian Thomas Jr., but he is facing a Green Bay secondary that boasts Xavier McKinney and Jair Alexander. Both of these guys are shutdown dudes, and they're legitimately shutting down wide receiver 1s all over the place this season. Even though Lawrence has built up a great reputation with Brian Thomas Jr., I just don't know that they get it done against this Green Bay secondary. Go with one of your other options at flex this week. I really think that Brian Thomas is going to put single digits on the board for you this week.
All right. You ran out of gas at the end there. You okay?
Yeah.
Take a deep breath. Breathed in the middle
Man,
of that.
that was crazy. I'm
Rocky,
getting all breathy.
Yeah, I hate to call this player out.
No, you don't.
When he came out last week and started, a city cheered, and that's Nick Chubb. I hate to say this, but it's a combination of Baltimore that's got a great run defense. Chubb looked like a guy that was recovering. He was a step slow in hitting the hole. I think he's going to improve, but I don't think this will be the week that he does it against Baltimore. And one thing that people don't realize about Baltimore, they actually have the 3rd worst passing defense in the league. And we already talked about the fact that we think it's going to be Jameis Winston throwing that ball around. They're not going to have to run.
What's so funny?
I just think it's funny that he's talking about Baltimore being the 3rd worst pass defense in the league, and it's like, who's going to pass in Cleveland? Cleveland can't pass.
Jameis Winston.
Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore. Come on. Cedric
Cleveland
Tillman.
shit out of luck this year.
Jameis
Man.
Winston
Baltimore's
is
going to
le-
win.
Do you want Carson Beck? Do you want Carson Beck with the first pick next year?
Jameis Winston is legitimate.
No, they're saying, and this is
NFL
a total
quarterback.
Browns move.
Okay.
They're going to go.
Shador?
Yeah.
No, they're
And I
not.
know- yeah, and I know what's going to happen.
They're going to go Shador Sanders. That's what. Get out of here.
They're going to do the most Browns thing possible. That's what they're going to do.
Well, Shador doesn't want to play in Cleveland.
Curtis,
anyway.
I don't give a shit. We don't want him in Cleveland.
I'll take him.
I don't want him. He's
I
short.
like Shador.
He's short and he's playing against the Pac-12. There's nothing left of the Pac-12, and he doesn't look great all the time.
No, he doesn't.
Well, he's not playing with a.
But I don't like
all-star
Carson
cast
Beck either.
Yeah.
I mean, who's the best college
Quinn
QB?
Ewers?
Maybe, but he got replaced by Arch this past week. Is it Jalen Milroe? He looked terrible last week.
I don't like Jalen Milroe. I like Shador the best out of all of them.
He's just
Maybe
too
it's Nick
short.
Fafita?
He might be too short,
Too
but
short.
there's short quarterbacks in the league. He's
They're
not
short.
playing with a bunch of talent.
Short
I
quarter.
mean, he has Travis Henry for sure,
He's
but
got a great line. They stole everybody
Nah,
they
I
could.
mean,
He's got a good
they're-
running back.
Travis Hunter.
they're okay. Travis Hunter is the guy I said. I said that name.
I don't know,
First name
man.
I said.
I just
Travis
you know
Henry,
me, I
old-
just get
old
worried
Buffalo
about
Bill running
back. Travis Henry.
quarterbacks running quarterbacks that are tiny.
He doesn't really run that much.
He runs
He's
a
a
little bit more
pocket
than
passer.
I think he's
He's gonna-
assuming.
Well,
He is
he's-
assuming.
No, he's going to have to run in the NFL.
Well, now you're just moving the goalposts.
He's
Okay,
going to have to run.
that wasn't even your point. Why are you saying
He
that?
does run. He does run. He doesn't run in Colorado.
He's not
He
a
doesn't have
running.
to,
He's not a running quarterback though.
but he
He's
can
a-
run.
Okay, Rocky, that's
No,
your
not-
point that you're trying to make?
what?
No, listen.
You're going to die in this
Wait,
hill?
what were you
What
going
were you
to say?
gonna
Oh,
say?
what?
'Cause
I'm just
not
saying
all
all
quarterbacks
quarterbacks can run.
No,
Yeah.
not all quarterbacks could run. Come on.
Oh, what quarterback?
You're
where you going?
pushing the issue right now. So what? Yeah,
This
you're-
looks like he's always, speaking of pushing issues, it looks like he's always pushing that Eminem baby beard, like when he first.
Yeah, I don't like it. All right. So my guy, my single digit saloon is going to be Michael Pittman, and this is just plain as day for me. When Anthony Richardson is the quarterback for this team, you just take all their wide receivers down a peg.
Yep.
It's unfortunate. I think he completed 42% of his passes last week. You've seen it affect Michael Pittman, and he's going up against the Houston defense that also put the clamps on Jaden Reed. Now, they let Romeo Doubs have a decent game, so maybe that leaves you a little hope for Josh Downs. But with Anthony Richardson at quarterback right now, I don't feel super confident in anybody catching passes.
So Anthony Richardson, who pushes the ball down the field.
42%.
Down tick on his wide receivers, but Jameis Wilson, who pushes the ball down the field with
Because he's accurate and he's a
massive
quarterback.
Yeah, AR's got a problem with that.
So wait. So
Wait,
hold on.
Jameis is accurate?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Dude, he set the record for like interceptions for quarterbacks
That
just a
doesn't
couple
mean he's
seasons
not
ago.
accurate.
But he threw the ball more than any quarterback ever had. And he also had 32 touchdowns that year.
Yeah, versus 31 interceptions or whatever the hell it was.
Well,
Did we-
guys, that's the show.
Yeah, we did.
All right.
We can argue all we want here.
Like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Let us know who you think won that argument. Pretty sure it's me. We love you. Peace.
See ya.